You are listening to the Run the Rack Outdoors podcast, where we take an all-in, leave no doubt approach to all things adventure hunting. From the big woods to the high country.
How about that?
Let's learn together as we discuss with our expert guests on what it takes to be successful in the backcountry. I'm your host, Weston Homa. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Run the Rack Outdoors podcast. Today I got on Clint Casper. Clint is a guy I've been listening to and reading his writings and different articles and such for a number of years now. So I was so stoked to get him on the podcast. We talk all things Western hunting. He's another guy from back east. He's from Ohio. He's been going out for a long time. He has a ton of experience and has found a ton of success hunting the West. So we talk a little bit about kind of his early days, starting out doing that, things he's learned along the way, and Clint's journey and advice he gives to newer hunters, and a lot about just like the mindset. And he has a pretty awesome bear hunting story that I'll save to the end just to go to show like how challenging and exciting and crazy these big mountain hunts can get. But I think that was a great story by Clint. We also talk about his camp coming up. So Clint is putting on a weekend about all things Western hunting in Ohio. It's June 7th weekend. It's called Waypoint to Western Hunting. It's Clint and Martin Chagnovich, another big time name in the industry. Guy gets a lot of big animals on the ground. So there's a ton of experience you can learn from that. So it's a 2-day event. There's dinner, there's prize giveaways, and I'm looking forward to a great seminar that those guys are going to put on, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot to learn from there. So that's June 7th weekend. Clint talks a little bit more about that, and he shows you where you can buy your tickets. I'll put the email link in the show notes, and go on, buy a ticket. I'll be there, and it should be a great time. Also coming up, so at the time of this recording, when this comes out, I'll be a couple of days out from leaving for bear hunting. So I'll be in Idaho for a week, chasing bears, spot and stalk. I'm so stoked for that. I got Grandma's Marathon about a month away. So I had another great week of training. Boston 2026 is the goal. So really trying to give it all I got for that. So that's about a month away. Then that means I'm about two and a half months away from my 100-miler. That's Eastern States 100, August 9th weekend. So I'm going to roll right into that training as soon as I get done with the marathon. And other things coming up. So, yeah, Seven Springs Total Archery Challenge. That's May 31st, June 1st weekend. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. If you want to just say what's up, I'll be walking around. I'm shooting on Sunday. I just love connecting with guys, hearing their story. I love hearing a good hunt story. And yeah, looking forward to seeing everybody there. TAC is just such a great time. So that's up at Seven Springs. Like I said, May 31st weekend. Definitely go check it out. Even if you're not shooting, it's just fun to go hang out up there. So that's it for this week. Hope you guys enjoy the episode with Clint. Let's give it all we got. Let's leave no doubt, and let's run the rack, everybody. All right, see ya. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Run the Rack Outdoors podcast. This week, I got on the one and only Clint Casper. So Clint's another guy that loves going out west to hunt from back east here. He's out in Ohio. You can find his stuff all over different hunting magazines, and I don't know, just another great name in the industry. And yeah, I don't know. How we doing, Clint? How was the turkey hunting? Looked like you made out pretty well.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I paid you for that good of an intro. I mean, I slipped you a little bit of money, but I don't know if it was, I don't know if I slipped you enough. I'm gonna have to, maybe slide you another 100 or something. That was pretty solid. I kind of like that,
Oh yeah, I know. You're just one of those guys. Another name all over the place. And I knew too. Well, like you did have a podcast. You don't have that anymore, do you? Or you do?
No.
Still do? Okay.
Nope.
Yeah.
Did one for 2 years under Working Class Bow Hunters umbrella. Had the CC Hunt Files, and it's been, I don't know, probably like a year and a half or so since I did my last episode. Did 100 episodes, and then we shut it down at 100. So, but
Gotcha.
But yeah, but I mean, podcast writing, just kind of all over the place, man. Content and whatnot. I think it's 12 for. I think it's my 12th or 13th year in the space. You could say not all those years have been full time by any means, but making a little bit of money in the space. It's been my 12th or 13th year, so been around the block a time, maybe two. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. And you just got back from a little bit of a turkey tour, it looked like.
Yeah. Good buddy of mine, Ryan Birch, probably one of my closest friends for the last 15 years. We always go out west, and typically it's like we'll hit like Kansas, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska. Some combination of those two or three. Kansas went to a draw 2 years ago, so last year was the first year. Did draw this year, so that kind of shakes things up a little bit. But yeah, we have a lot of fun, man. We always go out there and smack a few birds, and this is probably our like 10th year doing that. So and I like to travel. I'm a big turkey hunter, always have been. Anymore, man, I like calling them in more than I even like shooting them. I mean, I will say though, if there's an animal that I'm gonna leave my bow behind and go shoot with a gun, I'm shooting turkeys in the face, hands down. If I have to use a gun, which nothing against guns, I'm just a diehard bow hunter. It's been that way for probably the last 12, 13 years. But if I gotta grab the gun, it is pretty fun to shoot a turkey in the face. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's hard for me to sit here and not say that, like how much fun that is. But yeah, no, I mean, we always go out there. I primarily bow hunt. He primarily gun hunts, so it works out good. He usually always tags out first. And then we just kind of team up, man, and go back and forth. And that's how it was this year. He killed first in Kansas, then I killed, and then he killed first in Missouri, and then I killed. But honestly, though, I mean, truthfully, like I said, I like working the birds and kind of playing the game more than I even like shooting them at this point. So, but and it's nice to throw them on the Traeger too. And my boys, they're obsessed with. We'll make little nuggets and wrap them in bacon, and we'll do like half honey mustard, half like mango habanero or Caribbean jerk. And oh man, put them things on the Traeger for about 20-30 minutes, and oh gosh, that's a delicacy over here at the Casper household. Me and the boys, we run through the turkey breasts pretty quick eating them like that.
Yeah. No, turkey hunting's fun. My brother and sister-in-law, they're heading out Friday here this week to hunt Merriam's in South Dakota or North Dakota. I can't keep up with their stuff either. But yeah. So when somebody says like, "Oh, turkey hunting's just like elk hunting," does that piss you off, or are you in that boat?
No, it doesn't piss me off at all. I mean, honestly, to me, that's why I like both so much. They kind of mirror each other. And I mean, I think guys get bent out of shape about that because of the physicality that comes with an elk hunt, right? I mean, yes, like there's no comparison. I mean, you take someone from Ohio or PA or Kentucky, and they can go turkey hunt all over the place. Take that same person that doesn't train or doesn't do anything in preparation for an actual elk hunt and ship them out there on an elk hunt, and on day 2 they're ready to come home. I mean, it's so the physicality is completely different, but the game plan, the style, the way I hunt them, I mean, I pretty much spot and stalk birds all over with my bow, just like I would elk. I'll get a bird to gobble, kind of mirror him, figure out sort of, okay, can I get in front of him? Do I need to actually call him in? If I do, great. But a lot of times I call once or twice. They know I'm here. I set up, and I'm waiting on the curiosity to kill the cat. And I elk hunt pretty much the same way. I don't, not a giant call guy. I call to turkeys more than I call to elk, but it's kind of the same philosophy. Less is more. I've written a bazillion articles on that. Like, I think the longer and the more that turkey hunting becomes popular, elk hunting becomes popular, the less is more when it comes to calling. And I think the guy that's got a lot of woodsmanship skills, the guy that's able to adapt on the fly, jump on onX, look at the map. Okay, this bull or this bird's heading this way. I can cut him off, blah, blah, blah. I think those are the guys that are going to find the most success in today's world, because everybody loves to call. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's nothing more fun than, pulling out your slate and freaking throwing a couple yelps out there, and immediately get hammered. I mean, same thing with a elk hunting. I mean, there's nothing more fun than bugling and having another bull cut you off, or you throw a couple cow mews out there and freaking a dinosaur sounds off 200 yards away. I mean, that's the ultimate, right? But everybody's chasing that. Everyone's doing that. That's the fun way to hunt. I get it. But as time goes on, there's less and less and less success based off of just that strategy. So, to me, no, I don't get offended at all. I mean, it's a different game physicality wise for sure. But like the mental side of it and like the actual, like, what's my strategy? What's my game plan? Like, I mean, you could take turkey hunting here and elk hunting out there, and it's kind of a, hey, this animal is letting me know where he's at. Now I'm going to hop on my map and, okay, I think he's here. How do I get there? What's my plan of action? Okay, I'm going. I mean, in that realm, yeah, obviously carrying out a 23-pound turkey versus a 100-pound elk quarter is I mean, I think guys get caught up on, like I said, the physicality side of it. And yes, there's nothing like an elk hunt in the regards of what goes into it. But the actual philosophy and the game plan of how to kill a turkey, how to kill an elk, the way I hunt, it's very much a mirrored, style of hunting for sure, especially with my bow. I mean, almost an identical game that I'm running.
Yeah, for sure. And I was just sitting here thinking too, because I mean, I don't put enough or the time into turkeys. They just, I don't know. I'll go out. I'll even hunt like some private if I have access to it. But I was running and gunning where I deer hunt on public a couple mornings here, and I noticed too, like, because I was just telling my brother this, it is definitely a strategy game because similar to elk. Because if I'm in my whitetail stand, I don't have the option to like get down and run around and like chase after it.
No.
You're just sitting in your stand. But I'm sitting there like turkey hunting when you got some off the roost and you're thinking about how far they might be, or you do get like a response or something. You kind of have this weird like, should I stay or should I go? And both might be right, or both like one might be wrong and one might be right. So kind of it is similar strategies to elk when you're running and gunning at least.
Yeah,
and it makes it a mental gymnastics for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of woodsmanship skills that go into, especially the way I run and gun for turkeys. I mean, it's very effective to jump in a blind, throw decoys out. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, and I've done that too. Yeah.
I get super bored. I have to hunt whitetails in the Midwest, typically, especially here in Ohio. The most effective way to do that is to kill a big deer, especially a specific buck, which is always what I'm targeting, is you're setting up ambush spots, whether it's blinds or tree stands, and you're waiting on that animal to walk by. And quite frankly, I get bored doing that. I mean, I've spent thousands, I wouldn't even want to know how many thousands of hours since I was 12 years old bow hunting whitetails. And sure, it's still fun to play the game, but I'll be the first to tell you, I get bored. I mean, I like to spot and stalk. I like to get down. But here, with all the oak brush and all the oak trees and all the oak leaves, and I mean, maybe on a rainy day, I mean, I've killed a few whitetails on the ground, spot and stalk, and it was rainy day scenarios where you could slip in. I've killed some in cornfields, standing cornfields, going down the rows, and peeking around. But 9 times out of 10, man, you're doing more harm than good. You're blowing deer out. I mean, it's just so tough to beat the wind, beat their eyes, beat their nose on the ground, and then you're trying to beat their ears. Everything around here where you walk, I mean, it's oak leaves everywhere. It's funny. I had Brian Barney come out in whitetail hunt. This has probably been 7-8 years ago, man, and he was hell bent. He wanted to get down and play spot and stalk game. And I told him,
dude, he can't sit in a tree.
Oh, he did. He spent days,
I mean, he'll do whatever it takes, but
he did. He spent days on end, man. And he's like, I don't know how you do this. I mean, he was so frustrated. He's like, I don't know how you do this. He's like, he calls me one day. It's like middle of the day. He's like, dude, I got this buck, man. And he's with the doe. He's in this little patch of timber. And I'm like, oh, that's perfect, man. Just wait it out. See what happens. He's like, dude, I think I need to get down. And I'm like, you can get down, man. But I'm like, I'm telling you, if you blow the 20 deer off that farm that's there right now, they won't be back for a couple days. And this is the buck I wanted you to come here and kill. Like you're in the game right now. You're in the game. And he's like, yeah, but they're 150 yards, Clint. It's, to me, like, I'm not in the game. I'm not in the game at all. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you though, it's a different strategy. Like you're in the game. So long story short, he plays cat and mouse with this buck, right? He was here 6, 7 days and gets real close to killing a couple good ones. Then Skylar and Nicole Richards from Utah, two great people that you need to have on this podcast, they come out towards the end of his hunt. They hunt the same buck and they're doing the same thing. They're like, man, we know we got to hunt tree stands. We know that we've got to trust in what you're doing out here. Same deal though. They're like, dude, you're cold out here. Just sitting is so cold because we have moisture in Ohio. They don't. We have humidity.
Right.
They don't. Our
Yeah.
30 here is way colder than their 30 out there. And they're like, I mean, and Nicole's Sitka fanaticked up head to toe. Skylar's Sitka fanaticked up head to toe. And I'm like, man, there's some nice weather days, 30s. That's pretty solid. And they're looking at me and they're like, what do you mean? We are freezing to death out here. And I'm like, well, this is pretty nice. This is great weather. Like I dream of this in November, right? You know, so yeah, it's just long story short though, like there's 3 fabulous spot and stalk hunters. There's 3 people out west that had to come here and play this game. And they're like, dude, this is so hard because it's a different game. It's a mental game of you got to sit here and you got to wait and your opportunity could come at any time, but it's a patience game on the mental side. You go out west and it's a mental game on you got to embrace the suck, embrace the grind, but it's a totally different type of suck and grind and it's a more physical, you know. So yeah, it's just funny you brought that up though. It's like everyone's like, oh yeah, the Midwest, you know, it's the fat guy's way of hunting and you just hunt in a tree stand. And I mean, and I get all that, but it's like, I mean, there's times where I'll hunt 7, 8, 9, 10 days, dark till dark. I crawl in at 5, crawl out at 6:30. I mean, my feet don't touch the ground for days on end in daylight. Those are long days, man. I mean, I would put those days right up there with the days that I've chased elk with Brian Barney or ran around in Colorado at 14,000 feet by myself for days on end. It's a different type of day, but they're very equal on, wow, that was a rough day. You know what I mean? Like, wow, that was a grind. I mean, it's just a different type of grind.
The mental effort is very similar.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like I'm just trying to think back. So I started hunting the West like 4 or 5 years ago. When that thought of me going out there like to hunt elk, watching guys do it on TV and YouTube and being so excited, being like, because I grew up hunting whitetails, same thing, just in a tree, whatever. Like having the thought and the idea of like being able to move like throughout the day got me so excited. It almost felt like I had a little bit more, you know, control over things. And it excited me. And I just think that aligns a little bit more with my personality type because I try to be like a very go.
Yeah.
Not to say I don't like hunting whitetails. It's just I do like being on the move.
Right.
Wanted to ask you, so you're from Ohio, but you started going out and hunting the West. I'm actually really curious on just, well, first, when you started going out there and kind of what all that looked like, because it's getting more popular now. Some guys still see it as like this big hurdle to get through, and there are things you got to figure out, but there's so much resources and everything to go.
Yeah.
So back when you started going, what did that look like, and go from there? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 36 and I started in my early 20s. Went out there and went on a mountain lion hunt and an elk hunt, all in New Mexico, all in the same year. Went and shot a mountain lion with my bow, me and a good buddy in February. Fell in love with this. The first time out west, like actual out west, was in New Mexico. I was real close to the Gila Mountains. You know, and that was back when the Gila was popping. I mean, the Gila was the spot. Like, you know, that was the famed Gila monsters. I mean, that was when it was 380 to 420 bulls. It felt like they weren't around every tree, but it just felt like they were hammering giant after giant after giant after giant. I remember looking at my buddy and I'm like, dude, we gotta, like, I have to come back here and do this. Like, I've grown up, you know, with Peterson's bow hunting and bow hunter and field and stream and outdoor life. And like, as a little kid, I mean, it was just like, you know, I want to experience an elk hunt, a mule deer hunt, blah, 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 you know. Chuck Adams and Randy Ulmer and all these guys. I mean, you're growing up looking at all their stuff and you're just like, wow, like, holy shit, how do I make this happen? So he had been out there before and killed 2 really good bulls. So we did a drop camp, basically a semi-guided deal. We went in like 20 miles on horseback, got dropped. Guide has to be with you for like a day or two, and then you're pretty much able to do your own thing. 30 minutes in, first morning in the Gila, I shoot a 280 6x5, and 45 minutes later, I glunk in a 345 6-point for my buddy. Within 2 hours on the first morning, we're tagged out. Done.
It's that easy.
It's that easy. I shoot my bull at 15 yards. I'm shooting at the time, I'm shooting a Rage. The Rage Hypodermic had just come out. I'm shooting a Rage Hypodermic. When this bull spins, bury it to the fletching. When this bull spins away from me, the blood damn near lands on my lap. I'm on my knees when I shoot him. When he spins, the blood lands basically on me. As I shoot him, he's bugling at me. Like, my buddy's behind me, and he's bugling through me to my buddy. Basically, spit off the bull lands on me before the blood does, and then double lung him, watch him run off, tips over. This other bull's going nuts. We regroup, and I'm like, hey, let's, I don't really know a ton. This is my first elk hunt, but I know enough to be dangerous. I'm like, I got a bull that's hot. Let's see what happens. I remember I cow call. I just, I mute at him, which back then I'm sure I sounded terrible, but he was fired up. It was good enough, gave him just a couple,
Yeah.
And dude, he cut me off both times. I'm like, all right, here we go. Works up this little spine. He's standing there. He's bugling. I just start glunking at him a couple times, and I grab a pine tree and I'm shaking it, acting like I'm raking this tree. And dude, I mean, he sucks right into 40 yards. And my buddy double lungs him. And that's my first elk hunt. And I'm like, what? Why is this? I don't understand. Like, what is this? This is,
yeah.
So we pack these bulls out on horses and mules, and it's great, man. It's fabulous. I'm like,
yeah, that's awesome.
I'm like, dude, I'm like, okay, so that like ignited the whole thing. Then I switched to mule deer and I spent 4 years just getting my ass handed to me in Colorado, 4 different units, a lot of solo hunts in that time frame, a lot of long drives back home with my tail between my legs. And I'm just like, okay, mule deer, this is a lot harder. And really, it's all hard, right? It's all hard. I hit a lucky spell in New Mexico that year. I kill a cat, a real big tom, and then kill a really nice bull in a 7-month span. And I'm like, I'm gonna.
You peaked too early.
Oh, I'm like, what is this? And then
yeah. Why is everybody not doing this?
So then from there, man. But then, I remember back then on that trip, I had no idea what hunting full was. Hunting full had just started. And I remember one night, my buddy and I are staying in this little cabin, and there's these Hunting Full magazines spread out. And it's got all these units and all this research and they're compiling all this information. And I remember I was up till like 1 a.m. looking at this shit. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, look at all this. I'm like, look at all that. Like, the detail oriented side of me started to come out where I'm like, I'm reading through these units and I'm like doing all this research, and like, I have no points. I have nothing. I'm just engulfed in all this. Right. And I'm like, I got to become a member of this. And I remember being like, man, it's like $100 at the time. And back then I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I got $100 to spend on this. And I remember getting home and I started doing some research, and I'm like, I have to be a member of this. I have to get these magazines. I have to like be able to look at this stuff and analyze what I'm doing and where I want to go and start building a plan. And I want to talk to someone over there and like figure out like, all right, here's my 5-year plan. Here's my 2-year plan. How do I start getting tags? Like, I don't know anything. So I go home and I had a 223 laying around that I had no interest in. Sold that freaking thing off for like $150, got my Hunting Full subscription, and off I was running, man. And it's funny because like, to me, that gun was number one, it was worth way more than $150, but I didn't care. I just knew I needed $100. So when the guy's like 150, I'm like, huh, sold. That's $50 to the good side. See ya.
Yeah.
Like I had
Winning.
to, like that was a huge deal, was getting that magazine. And then
Yeah.
as time went on, I learned about Google Earth, and then Onyx pops up, and then now you've got Go Hunt, and you got podcast, and but like back in the day, man, yeah, there was forums, there was stuff online, but like it wasn't an encyclopedia like it is now. So like it's funny to look back because I'm like, Bow Hunter and Peterson's Bow Hunting, they had feature articles, but they weren't really giving you the secrets to where to go, how to do it. It was more of just a, hey, this guy goes and shoots this big bull. Let's, put the story on paper. Hunting Full, I'm like, oh man, this is unlocking a lot of stuff that I need here. I'm like, I have to have this. Like, I mean, I remember driving home because we drove out there. I remember coming home and telling my buddy Cliff, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to sell. At this point, I didn't know it was going to be a gun yet, but I'm like, I'm going to sell. I have to make this extra $100. And I mean, I'm in my early 20s. I'm living penny to penny at this point. Like, I'm not, by no means is that $100 like actually like, did I have the 100? Sure. Did I have it to go towards a hunting magazine for out west hunting? No. I mean, no, man. Like, I'm just getting things rolling, but found a way to do it, sold the gun, got the magazine, here we are. And now it's like funny because at 36, I look back and I'm like, how valuable was that? So valuable to me. And now it's like, you can jump online and for free, just start diving into all this stuff. I mean, it's so different. And with that has come good and bad, right? Because back then it was harder to obtain info, how to do it, where to go, what to do. That deterred a lot of people. So like there's a double-edged sword. Like I'm all about everybody experiencing the outdoors and getting the kids out there and just make your own memories, do your own deal. But with that comes a lot more pressure. Tags are harder to get now. So I mean it's a give and a take there, but yeah, so much has changed, man. Like, some for the good, some probably a little bit for the bad, but overall, I mean, hunting and technology and everything's growing and it all kind of, I think it goes in waves. I think at times people are like, oh man, I want to go back to the 90s. And at times you're like, man, this is the glory days right here. This is where it's at. It's like, I try to be positive about it all because there's pros and cons to all of it, right? I mean, there's pros and cons to cell cams, Onyx, range finders. I mean, dude, where do you draw the line? You know what I mean? So,
Right.
but it is crazy to think back to like when I was 21, 22, starting all this, and then here I am now, and I'm like, whew, man, I'm like, it's a lot different, it's like way different.
Yeah,
It's cool
for
though.
sure.
I mean, I've enjoyed the process, and it's fun to look back. Like right now, I'm like grinning ear to ear because I'm thinking about like I can remember, taking like a piece of paper and writing like spreadsheets like Colorado and then all the units that I might be able to draw in the next 5 years, and then Utah. I mean, it's like, dude, dude, go jump on Go Hunt and type in a few filters, and poof, there it is. Shoo,
Yep.
go to Onyx, type in a few things. Shoo, here's all the units you can hunt with 2 points. Like, it's crazy to think about, right?
I know. And I still am a firm believer, though. I think, yes, there's a ton more resources and everything. I still think a lot of it comes down, though, to the personality type of people. Because even though, I mean, you look at anything, like you look at fitness, like,
Yep.
and like health and like finances. Like there's so many more resources for everything, but
Yep.
yet there's still so many unhealthy people and poor people and like people still not, figuring out how to hunt out west. Like my point
Yep.
being like, yes, there's more resources, but it's still going to come down to the type of person that's going to be like, how do I figure this out? I'm going to do what it takes to find a way. Somebody like you, I'm going to sell this 223 for this $100 and make it happen. There's
Mhm.
still a lot of people, even with all the resources, that would still not have that activation energy for whatever reason. And yes, there's more pressure, 100%. I'm not denying. If tags are getting harder to get, I'm
Right.
not denying any of that. But I mean, how long has the average archery elk success rate been around where it's at? It's not like it's jumping astronomically because of more resources. I still think it comes down to people that kill are going to kill, and people that aren't.
Well,
Whether there's go hunt or not.
oh yeah, yeah, and I mean, and too, when you put more hunters in the woods, you educate elk. Let's stick with elk. You educate an elk quicker. So an elk that used to be 4 and 5 years old till he sort of figured out the game. Now at 2 and 3, they figure out the game. So that same bull at 8 and 9 has had 5 or 6 years of actually knowing what to do, what not to do, and what's real and what's not. Versus a bull that 20 years ago, he didn't actually completely have it all figured out until maybe he was 10, 12 years old. So you had an extra couple years to really play the game with that guy of him not actually truly knowing for sure what was up come September. You know, I mean, nowadays there's a lot. There's no secret basin. There's no secret. You hear guys talk about in the 80s and 90s. Man, I hunted that same basin in Colorado for 5 years, never saw a guy. Well, I mean, I'm here to tell you right now, I've hunted, I think, 11 or 12 different Colorado units at this point for deer, for mule deer and elk. And yes, some are better than others, but there is no such thing as a basin in today's world that no one but you knows about, or that you're going to go into on a 7 or 8 day hunt and not see anybody. Now, maybe if you run into awful weather, you're 14 miles in, you might get lucky and there only be another guy or two back there with you and you just don't see them throughout the time span. But chances are you're going to see people. I mean, that's just how it is. And back then that was different. You know, there wasn't as much of that going on. You know, there were still hidden basins and there were still like little honey holes and blah, blah, blah. And it's like nowadays, there's really no such thing as a secret or a hidden spot. I mean, there's just not. And with that comes, hey, animals are smarter quicker. You know, you take that same bull 20 years ago that at 3 and 4, you could call him in all day long. He'd just keep coming back into your calls. Today's world, chances are that bull at 3 and 4 is not going to be like that. I mean, and if he's lived that long, he's figured it out, or he'd already gotten whacked. You know what I mean? So I think there's a fine line there. You know, just because you've got a great tag doesn't mean you're going to get an opportunity. Just because you've got a $3,000 bow, you're decked out in Stone Glacier pack, you're decked out in Stone Glacier gear, you got, latest, greatest this, latest, greatest that. Bottom line, there's no mule deer walking up to you or elk or antelope or whitetail that's going to walk up and be like, you know what? I can't compete with all the technology you've got. You've got everything you need. Just
you burned 12 points. So here, just take me.
Just right here. I'm just gonna stand here and let you do it. It's never gonna be like that. It'll never be like that. You know what I mean? I mean, honestly, it's gotten harder, not easier, even with the technology, because like I said, you know, you got more and more people out there. You got animals that are probably smarter. I mean, our whitetails here in Ohio walk around looking up. They know they get hunted from above. When I was a kid, let's say 12 to 18, I can literally remember whitetail hunting an entire season. And unless I got winded, never did I see a deer do this. Now, that's normal. I mean, every deer that walks around, you will see at some point they're looking around because they know. I mean, they you know, they're not, they've gotten accustomed to that. That's a change in habit, you know, from year after year after year after year after year, people hunting out of tree stands and hunting out of elevated, you know, blinds and blah, 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 blah. So, no, yeah, I mean, I'm on the same page as you. Like, sure, technology is great, but you look at what the elk hunt in New Mexico success rate was in 1995, and you look at it right now, there's not much difference. It is still way under probably 15%, and that's any bull. That's not a big bull. That's any bull. I mean, it's not like it's went from 3% to 28% because of technology. It's still, most of the tags I have are 10% and under, maybe 15% if I'm in a real good unit, burn some points, blah, blah, blah. You might even sniff heading towards 20, maybe. But dude, 20 out of 100, I mean, let's be real. That's not great odds, but to us, that's like stupid good odds. I mean,
Yeah. Slam
I've
dunk.
had, yeah, oh, dude, I'm going to kill a bull
Yeah.
for sure. It's 21% in here. I'm going to kill a bull for
Yeah.
sure. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
I've hunted in some spots where, I mean, legit, the animal size I'm looking for, plus you factor in just the overall herd health, the amount of tags, blah, 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 blah. I'm working with like 3-4% if I'm being honest with myself. And a lot of people are like, well, that's stupid. Like, why would you even gamble with your money on that? And it's like, well, I mean, again, it's not like there's special tags out there that if you draw the tag, it's 100%. Oh yeah, dude, I got this tag. I burned 12 points. Shooting a 200 this year, man. It's just all there is to it. It's not like that, So, and I'm glad it's not like that. I'm glad it's still very much you better put in the work, you better put in the effort. It's not just a wait on points. And I've got 26 points in Utah. I drew a limited entry bull tag. I'm gonna kill a 380. No. It
No.
definitely, are your odds better on that hunt than an OTC unit to kill a 380? Absolutely they are. Way better. But are the odds still very low that you're going to kill a bull on that hunt? Absolutely. They're just not as low as the guy with the OTC tag. That's at about 4%. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah. I think it's why it's important to be the kind of guy who is really passionate about this and who's going to keep coming back year after year. Because
Yeah.
think about it. What other hobby has that people save up to do once a year outside of their 9 to 5 has a 10% success rate? Like you
Right.
go and travel to do it, and 90% of the time, or 90% odds of you coming back with like not what you wanted. Like imagine
Yep.
like you're a big golfer and you want to go like golf at this resort for a week, and it's like you come home and it's like, yeah, odds weren't in my favor, like we didn't get to golf. Like
Right.
or something. Like you know what I mean? Like it
Right.
doesn't even make sense. And that's
No.
why like people that and I'm sure like you hear it too coming from Ohio is like you're gonna go all the way out there for a 6% chance that you might come home with one, and it's like if you love it that much, you will.
Yep.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
whole everything about it, the whole journey, the whole experience, the mountains, the
Yeah.
adventure, the backcountry. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
So that's
mean,
what I try to explain to guys. Or like there are options to go with a guide and an outfitter and
yeah.
drastically increase your odds and stuff. And then it's like you can just go that route if that's what you're after.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. But
Right.
I just think it's funny to think about.
Well, and I tell guys all the time, like, if you want to get good at this, you got to play the game. So if you come to me and you say, okay, Clint, I'm saving points. I got all the gear. I want to get really good at high country mule deer hunting. Okay, I like it. That's my jam. I love it. I mean, that's my favorite. I'm listening. Yep. I've been reading and I've been watching, and I'm a Go Hunt member, and I got Onyx, and I got Hunting Fool, and I got the latest greatest gear. Okay, yeah, love it, man. Cool, that's good. Yep, I got 12 points. I'm gonna burn them this year. I'm heading to 55. I'm heading to the Gunnison, baby. I'm heading to the Gunnison, Colorado. Wow, dude, that's awesome. Hell yeah. Have you killed any bucks before? Oh, no shit. Cool. You done some mule deer hunting? Nope. First time. Shoo. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, if you want to get good at mule deer hunting, you got to hunt mule deer. If you want to get good
Right.
at elk hunting, you got to hunt elk. And the amount of guys that hold on to these points but don't actually ever play the game. I'm a big sports guy, so I always take things back to sports. I'm like, can you imagine if Tom Brady, which I'm a Raiders fan, I hate Tom Brady. I mean, the tuck rule, the snow game. I mean, I still could just cry.
Raiders? Wait, time. How did that start?
Nah, just dude.
From a,
Listen. I'm a Oklahoma Sooner fan through and through college football. I'm Boomer Sooner, horns down. If you're a Texas fan, I don't like you. And well, I still call them Oakland Raiders, but Las Vegas Raiders. Okay. But I don't know. I just am, man. Big football guy.
All right, I'm not judging.
Those are
Okay.
my two squads. Those are my squads. But could you imagine
Okay.
Tom Brady, who in my opinion, I hate the guy, but he's the GOAT. I mean, I'm going to give him that. I'm not going to sit here and say that I love him or I like him, but when it comes to just pure talent, I'm taking him number one. I mean, I am. Imagine if he never threw a pass in the fourth quarter, never practiced, never actually even threw a football, but you just tossed him into the Super Bowl and said, okay, we're down 6, minute 30, we're on our 30, got to score. Have to score, one timeout left. Dude, you got to run the 2 minute. We have to score to win. Got to throw a touchdown, got to kick the extra point. I mean, odds are, if he's never done it, even though he's got the potential and the pedigree to do what he's done, if he's never done it, odds aren't good, right? Odds aren't good. So if you're a guy that tells me you got all the gear, all the points, been doing all the research, but you've never stepped foot on the side of a mountain to hunt mule deer, oh man, you've been playing this all wrong. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're about to burn 12 points and you've never gotten the game yet. You've never even played the game yet. You know, so I'm a big proponent of, if you want to hold points, and I hold points in certain states, if you want to save up for certain tags and whatever, that's great. But man, oh man, you want to get good at elk hunting, you got to hunt elk. You want to get good at mule deer hunting, you got to hunt mule deer. And that's something that, I really live and die by and stand on. Is every year I've got multiple mule deer tags. Every year, multiple elk tags, typically. At minimum, 1. But most years it's 2 and 3, 2 and 3. You know what I mean? And even if it's a shitty unit, I want to play the game. I want to be in the game. Because even if I have a terrible hunt, I'm still learning on that terrible hunt. I've picked up something. I've learned something. I've sharpened skills. I've honed this. Figured out this tent doesn't work, or figured out that I don't love these boots, or whatever the case is. I've gained knowledge. But in today's world, man, I see a lot of guys. I hear a lot of guys got a lot of points, but I've never elk hunted. But I'm going to draw that Arizona tag next year. I'm going to burn 22 points on it. And I'm like, that's awesome. Killed some good bulls, never hunted elk. I'm like, never hunted elk? You're going to burn 22 points? You never hunted elk? Like, I'm like, man, you know what I mean? So it's like, I get it, holding on to points. I get it. I play the same game in certain states, but man, get in the game, son. You got to go play the game. You got to play it.
And I'm thinking of a practical strategy, because this is at least what I'm doing, and I think this can be helpful for people just starting to buy points and everything. Like, you look at Colorado mule deer.
Yep.
If you want to get good at hunting mule deer, especially like high country mule deer with the bow, I wouldn't have my tag strategy to be, I'm going to build mule deer points long term in Colorado. I wouldn't do it. I would. This is again my strategy. I don't like. What do I know? But my plan with Colorado mule deer is like, I'm going to keep drawing those 0, 1 point, 2 point archery deer tags, and like, obviously have chances to kill. People do it all the time. Yep. And I like what Cody Rich, how he puts it, like on his podcasts and platforms, at bats. Got to get the at bats. Go get those at bats with that, and then I'm banking mule deer points in other states. So I'm trying to think of, like, I have, like, Arizona elk. That's a long term elk tag strategy. So it's like, you go and get your at bats, and I'll probably do that with, I think I have 4 or 5 elk points in Colorado. I don't see me really building those long term either, because that's another state, especially with how they're kind of screwing everything up now. No more OTC. Like, you're going to have to put first choice even for these, like, easy tags. Whatever. Find a way to get your at-bats. And then when you're ready to cash in on that 8, 10, 12, 20, I don't know.
Yeah.
You got all the at-bats. So I think that's very important. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get good at shooting a basketball, you got to shoot a basketball. You want to get good at elk hunting with a bow, you got to go bow hunt elk with your bow. I mean, I mean, it's that simple. And yeah, certain states like Colorado, I mean, in my opinion, basically every unit in that state's going to have a 200-inch buck in it. It's just that good of a state. Now, some are going to have more Some are going to have, probably more than one in it. Some are going to have way less pressure, way more pressure, blah, 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 blah. But I've chased 190 plus bucks in 0 point units in Colorado many times. So, and then I've went to 4 and 5 point units and chased the same caliber of deer, but there were 2 or 3 of them to chase versus just one, or, whatever. But,
Right.
yeah, Colorado's a great example of that. Now me personally, I love what they're doing with getting rid of the OTC thing, because for me, I use Colorado as, I like to hunt elk and mule deer there. And if I have to wait every other year and gain a point or two and then burn it, gain a point or two and then burn it, that's great. The OTC thing, I've done elk OTC there 2 or 3 times. And I mean, the quality of hunt, it was just awful. I mean, I spent in what was that? Fall of 23, me and a cameraman spent 13 or 14 days in 3 different units, never saw a herd bull, never heard a herd bull bugle, ran into a few satellites. I mean, and we hit 3 or 4 units in different corners. I mean, we were north, south, east, west, all over that state. And I mean, and I've had like 2 hunts like that now over there, where I've spent 2 weeks just bouncing around, and because it was everyone's backup. So like, it doesn't hurt my
Right.
feelings to kind of make it a little harder. And I think Colorado will see, I don't love a lot of things Colorado does, but I'm not super upset about that. The wolves and that whole deal I won't get into, but I think that's an absolutely terrible idea? Yeah, 100%. I don't love that at all. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, at bats, man, you gotta, and like I said, even if let's say the hunt sucks, okay, but you gained more knowledge with your gear, your mapping system, whether it's your phone or whatever you're using, just maybe it's a solo hunt. Like, dude, the only way to get good at solo hunting is a solo hunt. And I mean, I'll be honest, that can take a few years to honestly gain confidence and kind of get a grip on it. And it's like, there's always something to gain from these hunts, whether they're good, ugly, bad, whatever you want to call it. But to just flat out be like, nope, I'm just not going to hunt. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to burn points when I get them. Honestly, I would tell that guy, go guided. Go 100% guided. Make it worth your time. Make it worth your points. Like,
it'll be a lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a buddy this year. He's going to burn points in Nevada. Should have a really good elk tag. Told him flat out. I'm like, dude, I'd go guided, 100%. I'd go guided. I'm like, he wants to kill one giant bull, hang it on his mantle or his fireplace, call it good. I'm like, dude, spend the money, go guided, up your odds. Like, you've never hunted elk. You're going to go to Nevada, which is arguably, yeah, there's giant bulls there, but like, it's dry, it's hot, it's a tough hunt. Like, I'm like, dude, go guided. Why not? Why would you not? Go guided. That's what he's going to do. Spend the extra money, go guided, and he's going to drastically increase his odds of fulfilling, I forget how many years of points, a lot of points, on this great elk unit, So like, there's a case where I'm like, dude, don't try to play Superman and I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to do it by myself. I'm like, you've never stepped foot in the elk woods and you're burning all these points. Go guided, enjoy yourself, And
there's nothing wrong with that. That's what they want to do. Yeah.
100%. That's what I told him. I'm like, dude, there's no like shame in the game for doing that, just because it's not what I'm doing or someone else is doing. But like, I also didn't wait X amount of years on points, and I've never elk hunted. If I was in his shoes, I'd be like, oh yeah, go guided. Yeah, it sounds like that's probably the smart move financially, is to go do that. So, everyone's, hey, different strokes for different folks, I mean, some
That's
guys,
all.
Yeah, exactly. 100%, man. I'm all about it. If it's legal, more power to you, Cap.
Go. Hey, I wanted to ask you too, thinking back to those. So, we did the New Mexico hunt, and then those first few years getting your butt kicked by mule deer. Sounds like you were a little bit like going out solo doing that. So,
Yeah.
what are some things you had at the time maybe gear related that you look back on and you're like, I can't believe I drug that shit up the mountain, or like I
Yeah.
had this thing that like did like. What are some big lessons learned from back in the day? Not only were you a rookie, but like technology was different back then versus
Mhm.
like what you know and do now.
Yeah. So I mean, my first year, even oh God, I hate to admit it because I actually made the same mistake twice. First 2 years, um, I was wearing scent lock in the mountain, which if for people that don't know what scent lock is, most of you will. It's been around forever, but it's carbon lined. It's not breathable. Um, it definitely isn't good when it gets wet. It's heavy as shit. But my philosophy behind it, see, I had a plan, was if I can beat a mule deer's nose like I can beat a whitetail, I'll kill one. So I've always had a shooter mentality, and this comes from back in the day. Shot a lot of indoor 5 spot, Vegas. Was shooting a lot of big tournaments. Had a had a coach that trained Olympic athletes as far as in the archery realm. Very confident in my shooting. I've always had the mentality of if you let me get back to full draw, I'm going to kill you. So my whole deal was, okay, how do I get back to full draw? Okay, I got to beat their nose. If I beat their nose, it's over. This will be easy. Like, if you stand there at 76 yards and let me come back to full draw, I'm going to pinwheel you. Now, mind you, yes, I miss. Yes, I fuck shots up, but I have a shooter mentality and I quickly forget those and go on to the next one. And that's good, right? So I'm like, okay, all I gotta do is beat their nose. That's all I gotta do. Well, I'm gonna wear my scent lock. It's a little heavier and it's not super breathable, but why not? I mean, I damn near died in that stuff. Literally.
Yeah.
Thermia on the second round, second year. Luckily wasn't terrible, was able to basically do the rewarming drill and get myself back to square.
Damn.
The,
Yeah.
the amount of idiocracy that I had to think that stuff could go out there and work when you're hiking around 12, 13 miles a day, you're sweating, blah, 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 blah. I had the young, cocky, hard ass mentality of it'll be fine. I'll make it work. And in the end, it's going to be what I need to do because I'm going to beat a buck's nose and then he'll stand up at 60 yards and I'll pinwheel him and I'll be like, this is the greatest idea I ever had. So clothing tailored to Western hunting, gear tailored to Western hunting is a big one. I was the guy that was running a Walmart backpack thinking I could shave some money there instead of spending money and going out and getting a Kafaru or a Stone Glacier, actually having something that was, basically used for the application, right? So like on these solo hunts and on these backpack hunts, your lifeline is your backpack. It's the most important thing you've got. For whatever reason, I thought it was a good idea to have like a shitty $140 Walmart pack, like a black, like a North Face freaking. Now I'm like, oh yeah,
Like,
this will
yeah,
work.
well, or Osprey or
Yeah,
whatever.
Osprey,
Yeah.
yeah, this will work.
Yeah.
Like, why would I want to spend all this money? Like I had this ass backwards mentality of I need to have high dollar, all this other bullshit, but not have high dollar like tents and backpacks. And it's because I didn't really understand what I was going to get myself into and what was actually going to take place. And then once I rode a few storms out in a shitty tent, I realized why you go get a Big Agnes or a Hilleberg or I quickly understood why guys are spending $700 on a freaking little tent and why guys are spending. I remember I ran a Coleman sleeping bag one time. Thing probably weighed 7 pounds. It was
Oh
shitty.
yeah.
It was heavy. It was not warm. And I remember at that time, I had just learned what Western mountaineering bags were. And if you're familiar with Western mountaineering bags, I mean, they're about $900, but like my 15-degree bag from them weighs like 19 ounces. I remember thinking to myself, what idiot would spend the money on a brand new bow on a stupid sleeping bag? Who cares? Why you're going to leave it at the camp. Once you pack it in there, you're just going to leave the damn thing. Why would you want to spend all that kind of money? I mean, dude, So yeah, gear was a big one. Like I had all the plans and all the strategies and all that, and I had the ambition and I was, hey, I'm gonna go just grind but like on those hunts, man, you gotta have the right gear. I mean, and you gotta
Yeah.
have stuff that's made to do those style of hunts. I mean, you want your gear to, like when I do seminars or I talk about gear and articles and things, like you want your gear to complement you. You don't want to be working harder to make your gear work for you. It should be helping you make the hunt easier. You shouldn't be cutting corners to try to make this sleeping bag actually work, or cutting corners to, okay, these boots aren't great, so I'll just plan for blisters. I'll bring my blister kit with me. Like, dude, you get blisters, and I've been here. You get blisters on day 2 or 3 of a 9-10 day mule deer hunt, you're done, dude. You're cooked. It's over. I mean, the odds of you now filling that tag just went down to about 1% because your feet will be so tore up. And I've been here. Actually, I need to ask him, but back in about 2018, at that point, I held the record with Brian Barney for the worst case of heel bite he's ever seen on a fellow bow hunter. I held the record. I would almost bet you I still hold it. It was so bad at nighttime, he would go and would cut and peel pieces with his knife off my heel, and we were putting gel on it and moleskin. And I mean, dude, it was bad. I mean,
Ooh.
I would be willing to bet you I still own the record of the worst heel bite he's ever seen. And it's all because, like an idiot, there again, young, dumb. This is like 2016, 2018, something like that, So like 8 years ago, again, it was just a rookie mistake. Bought a pair of boots, went down to the track, put about 7-8 miles and was like, $500 pair of boots. I don't need to break these things in. Now, dude, I've got a 50 mile rule. A pair of boots will not go out west with me until I've got at least 50 plus miles in those suckers. I know they're broken at that point, but again, I had the right gear. I just didn't know what I was doing with it and didn't break them in. So it's just, a lot of that stuff, man, it's just like I said, you want your gear to work with you, not against you. And you got to know what to get, what not to get, what to use, what not to use. And a lot of that's trial and error. But in today's world, you can hop online and figure all this stuff out, I mean, like real quick. I'm not the only guy that has the 50 mile rule. There's lots of guys that'll tell you, yeah, I would never take a hunting boot to the mountains without 50 miles on them or 60 miles or, whatever the case may be. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, gear is a big one. I mean, you've got to have the right application gear wise, to match the hunt you're on. I mean, there's just, there's so much that relies on your gear. You're literally living out of your backpack on some of these hunts, and you're living, out of what you take in with you. And it's like, if you don't have the right stuff, I mean, I remember on one of those first mule deer solo hunts, I had like 5 pairs of socks, 5 pair of underwear. Now I wear a pair in, I bring one spare. I mean, I have a pair of socks and I bring a pair of socks. I have a pair of boxers. I bring a pair of boxers, and that's on an 8 to 10 day hunt. That's it. I mean, I don't need more than that. You know what I mean? Like, I bring in 1 pair of pants, maybe a second pair that's a lightweight set of rain pants. Sometimes, maybe more times than not, I got a spare in my truck, but I'm walking in with a pair of pants and that's it. I think on that trip, I had 2 or 3 pairs of pants. Like, why? I mean, I have a picture. Yeah. I have an old picture that I need to try to find, and I'll send it to you. I had an old, on one of these hunts, I had just bought, remember the Horn Hunter packs? They had like the big wings on them. They still make them. The Horn Hunter full curl. Horn Hunter full curl. Look it up.
I'll have to check it out. I'll have to look it up. Okay.
Pack's probably like 8,500 cubic inches. And my dumb ass thought I should use all 8,500 cubic inches, right? So I have this like...
Got the room.
Dude, I've got this like 81 pound pack on going in to the backcountry. 9 miles in one way. I mean, I remember part way just being like, I need to start unloading stuff and I'll get it on the way back. Just start stringing stuff up and I'll catch it on the way back down. Like now I'm the guy that cuts my toothbrush in half. But back then it was, I might need this. I better bring it. Might need it. Better bring it. Like,
I know.
I had an 80-pound pack going in. If I would have killed a buck, it'd take me 3 days to get everything out. But again, you live and you learn there on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's like so important too. Like you mentioned it. A lot of it's trial and error.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is the trial, the going. So
Yeah,
there's a lot to. I mean, it's funny to think about how you kind of just said fuck it with a lot of things and just went and you had all this shitty gear. But there is an element to that, like that personality type that can really help on these hunts where you do just kind of say like, screw it, I'm going.
Right.
Because you don't overanalyze and everything. And then you know, once you're out there doing it, you're going to then learn what you actually need and need to invest your money. So I think there's actually a lot to be said to that where like you're just like, screw it, I'm going. I think that could actually help a lot more guys obviously go versus getting too caught up in the weeds. Because you lived a little bit of hypothermia, but you'll be all right.
I live. Yeah. I mean, I'm here to,
Yeah.
I mean, and there's been a lot of those moments where I'm like, well, that sucked, but I lived. I'm here still. I mean,
right.
But a lot of that has, when guys ask me like, oh man, you've killed, 5 good mule deer and you've killed, 3 good bulls and you've killed a handful of good bears and a handful of good antelope. And man, you've killed 12, 15 Western animals in a span of 15 years. And some of them years you killed multiple in the same year, what's, how are you doing it? And I'm like, dude, it comes down to, I spend a lot of time hunting, a lot, like 60, 70 days a year out west, pretty much every year, sometimes even more than that. You're going to get opportunities if you're out there, but the guy that only spends 7 days, man, you might get an opportunity. You might, but no guarantee. I mean, hell, last year, let's see, Utah early, Colorado early, then back to Montana for elk. I want to say I had 36 days of hunting in before I had my first actual legit opportunity to come back to full draw. That was between,
that's a long time.
That was
that's a lot of hunting.
Yeah, that was between 3 states. That would have been Utah early, Colorado early, Montana for elk. So let's shave a few of those days off. Let's say 33 days, 30 plus for sure. Till I actually was back at full draw and what I would consider, okay, you got a solid opportunity here. I mean, for a lot of guys, that's 7 years or 6 years of hunting. If they're only hunting 5, 6, 7 days, I mean, that's 5 or 6 years of hunting to have.
That's why it's so important too, guys, like to get the at bats. Because you see, maybe they can't do that much in 1 year.
Right.
But every year they can do that week, 10 days.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, you've got to you've got to have it. I mean, you got to make it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make it work somewhere. And that's the biggest thing is, go get your at bats, man. Go learn, and it's if you're gonna get into this game, just like golf or anything else, there's not really a fast paced way to get good at it. You might find some success early and hit and get a hot streak, and get on a burner and just, man, sweet, but to really get consistent and really get good, you go look at the Brian Barneys, the Dan Heverins, Tony Treach, Travis Nowotny, a lot, Sam Davis, a lot of these dudes that I call and consider really good buddies. They've all got the same exact DNA makeup. It's just stock after stock after day after day after grind after grind after go, 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 go. Finally, we're at full draw, and then they make it happen. But they might work tirelessly for 8, 9, 10 days to get this one opportunity, but then they make good on that one opportunity, but it's never just, oh man, Brian went on 5 hunts, 5 days, killed 5 animals. That's just not how it works. I mean, it's just not how it works.
Yeah. And he'll tell you that too. Like he puts in so much time. Yeah. And then even then, it's still not, it's still not easy. Like you had me so, and we're already at like an hour here. I can't believe it. But like you had me so fired up the other day telling your bear story. That was
Yeah,
one of the most tough hunting stories, badass for sure. Hunting stories I've heard, and
yeah,
like you gotta drop that story real quick, because this is like, yeah,
yeah. No,
after hunting your ass off, then this
yeah,
is your reward.
yeah. I mean, that was 4 years in the making. I think me and Brian and Dan figured it up. That would have been like day 38 of me bear hunting in Montana, looking for an opportunity. Could have killed some smaller bears, and mind you, this is spot and stock public land. I mean, it's a tough hunt. Super tough. There's been a couple years I've went out there. I think there was 2 years I went out there and never even remotely got close to drawing my bow. And tough hunt. I've killed some good bears, but I've always wanted to kill a good one. Just a mature boar, spot and stock out there. Fell in love doing it years ago. Went out with Brian, invited me out one year and hunted 8 or 9 days. And man, I try to come back, as many times as I can. I usually don't get out there every single year, but I sure try to. Between farming and stuff back here with the kids, sometimes it's not every other year, or it's not every year, maybe every other year. But if I could, I would do it every single spring, the whole month of May and into June if I had the time. I love it. It's a lot of fun. It's tough though. But so
I'm leaving
Brian,
in 2 weeks.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I'm hoping that end of May time frame I'm going to get out there myself, out to
nice.
Montana this year. That's the plan still. We'll see how it lines up. But so we're on, like, I think I'm on like day 7 of the hunt, and was camping out at Brian's house at night, and Brian comes up with this big plan. He's like, "Hey man, I got a spot I want to pack into. Long way in there. It's going to be 11, 12 miles in there. We'll leave in the morning. I think we'll see some bears in there." Um, so me and Dan's like, "All right, cool. Yeah, hell yeah." At this point, Dan's already killed a bear. So he's just like, "Yeah, dude, let's go. I'll run spotter and blah blah blah. Let's do it." Go up in there, long hike. I mean, it's elevation from the truck right out of the gate the whole way up in there. And we're running into grizzlies and mountain lions, and I mean, I'm like, oh man, like here we go. Like at this point, I've seen like 7 or 8 grizzlies and not seen a black bear yet. This is like my 6th or 7th day of hunting. So I just keep running into grizzlies everywhere I go. Sow and cubs here, boar over here, breeding pair over here. Like I can't get away from grizzlies, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're packing all the way in here. And Ryan's like, "Yeah, man, there's got to be a black bear in here somewhere. Like, has to be. We're on this vantage point, man. We find this little green meadow that's just popping, neon green. There's elk all over it." He's like, "Dude, we need to camp right here for a couple hours." I'm like, "Yeah, I agree. This looks as good of a bear spot as you can find." It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So you're starting to get into that middle of the afternoon, heading towards evening time frame where, shit should get good. A lot of bears are killed in the afternoons and evenings, not really in that morning time frame. So we're sitting there, all of a sudden this freaking blonde bear comes out. He's got like he's a blonde, but he's got kind of like a cinnamon tint to him too. Really, really pretty bear. Not a giant size bear, but an old bear. Like as soon as we look at it, Brian's like, "Oh, dude, that's a freaking old boar," and face all scarred up, and he's a couple miles. He's probably about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from us, looking through the spotters. But to get to him on Onyx, we're like, okay, he's probably like 3 miles or something. And Dan and Brian sitting there, and we're kind of looking at this, going over it. And Brian's like, "All right, man." He's like, "Well, here's your play, dude. Here's your play." And I'm looking, I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah." Like this is, it's a low percentage play. I mean, it's a low odds. I mean, number one, it's going to be a couple miles to get over there. He's got to stay in this spot. When I get over there, I'm going to need to find him again. There's elk scattered all around him. I mean, it's not a great play, but it's a good enough play that I'm like, it's the first black bear I've seen in the whole trip. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going, So I take off, strap my stuff up, take off, get over there. Long story short, 76 yards. pinwheel this boar. Now, Brian and Dan are still up there on the vantage point, glassing all the surrounding area, but they're also able to watch this all go down. So they get to watch me make the stock, make the play, get over there. Brian's in the spotter. He sees me come back to full draw, blah, blah, blah. So I pinwheel this bear. I'm all the way over there. So I in reach him and I'm like, hey, I'm going to take some photos, cape and quarter, get this thing all loaded up. I'll meet you guys back down at the trail before dark or right after dark, depending on how quick I get all this done. We'll hook up and then we'll walk out together. And mind you, walking out together is going to be like 9 miles, right? So this is like 3:30, 4 o'clock at this point, okay? So I get all my stuff taken care of, get him all loaded up, I got the cape, I got meat, I got my bow, I got all my stuff. Get down to Brian and Dan, and I'm like, oh man, I'm telling them the story, and obviously like they watched the whole thing go down. And they're like, yeah, dude, like, well, let's just go ahead and divvy this all up, and I'm like, hey man, just take my bow. Like I wanna take it out. And they like look at me and they're like, why? And I'm like, I just want to, like I will play these little games in my head. Can I do this? How far can I push the red line? Like, how far can I push the meter to the red line? Because everyone's got a red line somewhere where, okay, that's the end. And I'm like, nah, man, I think I can go to the truck with this. And they're both kind of looking at me like, well, yeah, you probably can, but why? And I'm just like, I've waited 4 years for this. Fuck it. I want to do it, So we start in and we go.
I get this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We start in and speeding this story up. We end up having this, at one point, we're probably halfway back. And I mean, they're in front of me and it's, at this point, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, we left at like 7 a.m. It's now 1. I mean, we're working on, pushing 20 hours. At this point, we're probably at like 18 miles round trip. And I hear one of them yell. And I hear both of them rack the 10 millimeters. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I hear, hey, I'm thinking, great. One of these fucking grizzlies.
Yeah.
Dude, we had this wolf, and we think it was like a juvenile male that got kicked out of a pack, but he's paralleling us. He can smell that bear, but he's too chicken shit to like actually come real close, but he's paralleling us, Long story short, I end up making it the whole way like back to the truck, right? And it ends up being almost 27-mile round trip. We get back at like 4 a.m.
Dude.
21 hours, right? I've never been so happy to get back to Brian's truck. I think I drank 6 bottles of water. He had like a whole block of cheese. We ate that whole freaking block of cheese and like,
yeah.
And he's looking at me.
That's so far, dude.
Oh, dude, so far. He's looking at me. I take my pack off, and he's looking at me and he's like, well, was that worth it? He's like, I mean, what do you think? And I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, honestly, man, like I just wanted to fucking see if I could do it, and he's like, I knew you could do it. He's like, I had no question, like we've hunted together enough. Like I knew you could do it. He's like, and me and Dan both were like, what the hell's he doing? Like, why? What are you doing? He's like, but then I started thinking about it and I'm like, man, this guy waited 4 years for this. Like he wants to just suck every ounce of suck out of this deal. And I'm like, yeah, man, I just wanted to, it wasn't about me trying to be macho Randy Savage or anything. I just mentally wanted to be like, okay, if I was solo, I'd have to do this by myself. And I'm just going to fucking do it. And if I get to a point where I physically was like, hey, I'm putting myself in the red zone here. It's time for me to call it. I would have, because, I've got kids and I don't want to blow my knees out, blow my back out. And but I had it, and I'll never forget, out of all the, and I was telling you this the other day, out of all the writing and the seminars and all the cool people I've met and all the cool shit I've done, and very blessed to have a ton of people, give me a lot of good compliments over the years and really be like positive with, whether it's an article that they wrote or it's a seminar that they came to or maybe I liked their kid's first deer picture and they were so pumped about me, like sharing that and whatever the case may be. Best compliment besides my kids telling me, they're like, "Hey, Dad, we're proud of you." Best compliment I've ever got. We're sitting there on the tailgate, and Barney's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "I fucking knew that bear was dead." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Oh," he's like, "I told Dan when you left." He's like, "I looked right at Dan, was like, that's a dead fucking bear over there, man. That bear just don't know it yet." And he's like, Dan looked at me and was like, "Yeah, I think he's got a good shot." And he's like, I was like, "No, it ain't a good shot, man." He's like, that fucking bear is gonna die. He's like, there's a hungry, hungry mother effer heading across there right now that's got 4 years riding on this. He's like, he gets back to full draw. He's like, I'm telling you, he's like, we're fucking packing that bear out tonight. He's like, I guarantee it. And I remember sitting there, and I mean, I've got to become best friends with Brian, known him probably 8-9 years now, and shared a lot of camps with him, a lot of hunts. And I mean, in my opinion, if my life or my kid's life depends on it, and I've got to fill a tag, I mean, and I'm not the one that can hunt the tag. I'm taking Brian Barney. I've said that many times on podcasts and in seminars. I think the dude, pound for pound, he's as tough as it gets. He's as good as it gets, right? For him to have that kind of confidence in me just because of the hunting we've done, getting to know me as a person and being like, nah, man, I knew like this dude was so fucking hungry waiting on this opportunity. There was nothing stopping this guy. And I'm like, I remember just kind of looking at him being like, man, like, no shit, huh? He's like, oh yeah. He's like, not a doubt in my mind, dude. I told Dan that no question we're packing that bear out. He's like, I could just see it in your step when you left. He's like, I'm like, yep, that bear's dead. He's like, and I just went back to glassing. He's like, I was glassing on far, on other vantage points. And he's like, Dan's just like, what do you mean the bear's dead? He's like, Christ, he just left. He's like, I'm telling you, bear's dead. He's like, there's just no doubt in my mind. It's like, that's one of those things that, like, I think because of all that the ass kickings that I've taken and all the time and the failed stocks, the blown stocks, the screwing up, the messing up, like, you start building this resume of learning and gaining knowledge and what it takes and the grind and whatever. And Brian had got to see a lot of that as the years progressed of us being buddies and hunting and things. And it's like, for him to know that I wanted this, I've been waiting 4 years, X amount of days for this freaking moment. And to know that not a great play, tough stock, probably going to be a long shot just because I could only get so far into this meadow and then was going to have to relocate him. For him to be like, oh yeah, fucking bear's dead. I mean, I was just like, man, that'll stick with me forever to know that that's what he said when I left the vantage point to Dan. Like that'll probably never be topped for me, just knowing that he had that confidence, But I think back though to, man, there was a lot of times I've left on stocks and I had no confidence, like because I hadn't done it enough yet. And it's like, man, confidence and doing it breeds success. Like you gotta have that confidence, and the only way to get it is to get your ass kicked, is to get beat up on the mountain, get deflated. Like that's the only way you're gonna gain it, is to go through the ringer. And then you get in a moment like that where, yeah, I mean, I would never have said this to Brian and Dan, but when I left that vantage point, I had my mind made up. I'm like, man, Brian and Dan's going to watch this whole thing go down, right? I ain't fucking this up. I'm killing this fucking bear. Like, I had my mind made up. And he could see that. Like, Brian could sense that. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, dude, that bear's dead, man. We're packing that bear out tonight. And I honestly, I'll never forget that. But that's why he's so dangerous, though, because he walks around every stock, every opportunity. That guy has that confidence level in himself. This might be the last stock I ever make in my life. I'm going to treat it like that. And dude, that's why that guy is so deadly. I mean, he is so deadly because of that confidence that he walks around with. And it's not, it's not cocky confidence. It's, I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can do. I'm going to go do it. There's a difference between,
because he's done it.
Oh, 100%. And he's taken his ass kickings.
That's why he has that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And in the last 5 to 6 years, I've started to gain that edge, and it's crazy how success follows that. But it's taken a long time to get that. I mean, it's taken it's taken a lot of ass kickings on the sides of mountains to gain that, but it was just really cool to see him. He had that same vibe from me that I knew I had when I left, but I wasn't really saying much. I was just focused on task at hand. He's like, "Oh yeah, dude, fucking Bear's dead." Dan's like, "What?" He's like, "He just left." He's like, "Nope,
Yeah.
Bear's dead, man." So yeah, it's pretty cool, man, for that, it's always cool to kill a big buck or a big bull or whatever, but like that's the kind of stuff that sticks out to me when someone like him makes a comment like that to me meant more than honestly going over there and actually killing the bear. Like him saying that and just
Mhm.
knowing how much you got to grind and earn, and nothing's given to you out there, man. Those animals don't give a shit if you're Brian Barney, Clint Casper, Randy Ulmer. It doesn't matter. They don't care. They don't give a shit. You still got to go put in the work and go kill them. And yeah, it's been a grind to get that confidence, but that makes the world go around, man. And then when you do still screw up or you miss a shot or whatever, you can fall back on that. Like, well, fell off my horse, going to get back on, continue to ride. So that's pretty. It's nice to be able to fall back on that confidence because again, there's a lot of times that guys still screw up. I mean, even a guy like Brian. I mean, he still misses, still screws up, and he openly will tell people about it. You know what I mean? Like there's no perfect human that's gonna always every single time Jordan shot a game winner, they didn't all go in. Every single time he drove to the bucket, it wasn't a dunk. I mean, but you quickly forget that and you're on to the next one. And that's right there's where Brian shines, man. He fucks up a stock. What'd I do
Yeah.
wrong? What could I have done different? What am I gonna do next time? Boom. That one's out. He's on to the next one. I mean, within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Regurgitate, figure it out, analyze, on to the next one.
That whole story with the bear, it's badass. It was a hell of a pack out. I love the part too because Brian's the type of guy. It's like two things. He says that because he's done it. He's stacked,
Oh yeah,
the evidence that he can.
for sure.
And then also too, his personality is like he wouldn't just say that unless he meant it.
Oh no,
Just
yeah.
and this is me just knowing Brian from a couple conversations. So
Yeah, no, absolutely.
that's so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of a story like real quick. Like I was in Colorado last year by myself up at 12,000. I ended up arrowing this cow for my first archery elk.
Mhm.
And the long or the short was I had help to pack it out lined up. I kill the cow. I'm up at 12,000 feet by myself. Big mama cow. I'm stoked. The help fell through. So I ended up I have no choice or whatever. And I had this creek, I had this north face, but it was 4 miles in, 12,000 feet. I had a good 3,000 climb down to the truck and up and back and whatever. And I'm like, I got to do it. I believe I can do it. Fuck it, I'm going to do it. And I did it. And now I have that confidence of if I'm solo hunting and I kill a bull back up in here
Yep.
and up pretty high, I
Yep.
can pack it out myself. I have that confidence now because I've done it.
Absolutely.
And it's almost like now I have gratitude. I actually want to. So he was just a packer in town or whatever. I always keep saying one day I'm going to call that guy and thank him for bailing on me.
Yeah.
Because if he would have helped me, I would have been like, well, I always need another guy to help me get this elk out.
Yep.
But now I know I don't. And yeah, I didn't pack a rack out, but trust me, that would have been
Same.
the amount of adrenaline I would have had. That would have been nothing. But yeah, so it's but you just got to do it. You just got to do it. And if I had elk tags that I didn't punch, sure. But it's you're to build confidence, you have to do it. And to start doing it, you're going to suck, which means you're going to fail. So it's to get confident, failure is the prerequisite. So that's how I like to rationalize it, I guess.
100%, man. I mean,
yeah.
You're gonna, like I said, I mean, the amount of ass kickings I take every year out west, still to this day, every single year, never ceases to amaze me. But it's what hones and sharpens the blade, man, every time.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so we could go all night, I'm sure, but the last thing I gotta plug it. So you got this Western hunting camp coming up. Just side note, I just bought my ticket for people listening. I'll be there. It's I mean I'll let you provide the details, but if you want to hunt out west, this is something you probably want to make your way and go to. So we just talked about gaining that confidence, gaining the at bats.
Yeah.
this is a great place to start.
Yeah, man. So, a good buddy of mine, Martin Chagnovich, out there in Utah, lives right there in Salt Lake City. Man, if you're not following him, he's a killer. He's mid-20s, but grew up out there. Just eats, sleeps, and breathes bow hunting. Kills a lot of big stuff. I don't know anyone who honestly spends every day on the mountain like he does. And when I mean every day, I mean literally like follow the guy for a year and you'll see it. I mean every day. Yeah, we just wanted to put something together. I kind of had this idea the last couple of years about, I've done seminars and been doing a lot of writing pretty much my whole career. I wanted to put something together where I could bring people into one place and have like a 2-day deal, and really take people from like the A to Z, especially out my way. Like there's a lot of guys out west that hold these clinics. I mean, hell, Brian's part of a couple of them. And you know, out there, it's a little bit different, because a lot of guys are living it out there. Whereas over here in the Midwest, man, a lot of these guys that want to come from like the East or the Midwest to the West, it's like, man, it's just such a different world. So I wanted to try to bring somebody like Martin over here to Ohio and do this 2-day clinic. And we called it this year, it's Waypoints to Western Hunting is what we're calling it. And it's pretty much the A to Z, from drawing and obtaining a tag all the way to field dressing and hopefully packing out your buck or your bull, everything in between in those 2 days. And it's going to be June 7th and 8th. It's $350. It's a Eventbrite is who is actually doing like the ticketing. I got a link in my bio. Martin's got a link in his bio. We post about it pretty often, just trying to kind of get it out there. But basically, a really good buddy of mine, him and his wife, they own a really, really kick-ass, awesome wedding venue right here in Carrollton, Ohio. And I'm renting it out for a day and a half. And we're going to have, presentations, slideshows. We're going to have, we've got some movies and some videos we're going to show. Man, the steak dinner, full bar, cigar bar. I mean, the whole deal is just going to be an experience. And then, everyone that signs up gets an Onyx Elite membership as soon as you walk in the door. I don't even have enough time to go through how much gear we're going to give away. I mean, like $6,000-$7,000 worth of gear we're giving away. Ton of companies. Matthews, Prime, Stone Glacier, Easton, Sever, Hamsky. I mean, just down through the list that are donating stuff for this that we're going to be able to give to people and have giveaways. And yeah, it's just going to be a really cool event, man. And we want to do 1 or 2 of these every year. And we're starting it off this year with kind of the Waypoints to Western Hunting. And next year, probably going to do like an elk specific, maybe a mule deer specific, every year, just kind of mix it up, have different speakers, different guests. But this year it's, just Martin and myself. And then good buddy of mine, Mason Steelman, who's a videographer and cameraman, does a bunch of work for like Kafaru and Matthews and different companies. He's going to come there and do some presentations too. So yeah, man, it's going to be an awesome time, and we're really stoked about it. It's one of those deals where it's like, man, I love doing like the seminars and like, you got 2 hours to talk, or you got like maybe a 1-day, 8-hour deal. But man, it's so hard in that time frame to really truly give people what I feel like is what they need. So this being a day and a half, almost 2-day event, it's kind of one of them deals where it's like, man, we can really get nitty gritty. I mean, we can really get nitty gritty on e-scouting, really get nitty gritty on gear, really get nitty gritty on how to find elk, how to find mule deer, how to prep your meals, how to game plan. You want to truck camp, you want to solo pack in hunt, you want to spike camp. We can really go through all this stuff. And Martin hunts different than me. We use different gear. We have different styles. So it's going to be a really good mix of a lot of differences. Obviously, we're alike in a lot of ways, but we're also very different. So yeah, man, we're stoked. There's 3 or 4 hotels within a mile of the place. There's also availability to stay right there on site. That's all on the website that I've got there. Like I said, at Eventbrite, in my bio and in Martin's bio. But yeah, man, we just want to try to, like, we're all sharing this space. There's a ton of people hunting. Like if I'm going to share space with a bunch of guys, man, I'd love it to be a bunch of guys that know what they're doing, how to do it. And if I can teach people that from what took me 10 years to figure out with all these screw ups and mistakes and bullshit, if I can curve that learning curve for guys and I can help guys be safer, I mean, I've got myself in some really bad situations because I just didn't know enough. Um, so if I can help someone out when it comes to the safety factor, or help someone be more successful, or help somebody kind of curve the learning curve on stuff, what to do, what not to do, etc., man, like honestly, I feel like I'm really doing, everybody like a good service there. And I mean, I'm already writing articles about it. I'm already doing podcasts about it. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just do this in person, man. And let's get something going where it's kind of I'm going to bring a guy from the West over here to the Midwest, and you guys come and we're going to put this thing on, man. And yeah, we're really stoked. We're excited about it, dude. I'm pumped you're coming. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have a steak and burgers Saturday night. Martin's going to drop his mule deer film from last year where he shoots a 202-inch typical in velvet. Yeah, dude, we got a lot of cool stuff planned. It's going to be a hell of a good time. Ton of knowledge thrown out there, ton of prizes given away. I mean, like I said, hell, as soon as you walk in the door, you're getting an elite membership from Onyx right out of the gate. You don't want it, go sell it to your buddy. There's $100 right there off the top that you just made back in your pocket.
Yep, there you go. So if you guys looking to go, I mean, I'm excited. I'm always all about learning. I got a bunch of books back there. Half of them are about elk and mule deer. Like, if I'm not out there hunting doing it, that's the best way to learn. Yeah. I'm going to do all the other things I can in the meantime.
Yep.
I've done like online courses. I read articles all the time. I read books, and then go into stuff like this. And then this is the stuff that's really like, because you're right there talking to the guys themselves. Yep. And I think it's great. So you can find Clint on his social platforms. The Eventbrite links are in his bios, him and Martin's, and I will link it like in the show notes and whatnot. And then where can people find you specifically? Like Instagram, all that good stuff?
Yep. So Instagram, Casper Clint. I'm the most active there. TikTok, same deal, Casper Clint. Facebook's Clint Casper. I mean, Instagram's kind of my main deal. As far as, probably the most content, they let me do the most. TikTok obviously is pretty rough. You can only show so much. I have a YouTube channel that I'm starting to really work on and trying to grow it, and doing a lot of gear related stuff there, a lot of tip and technique stuff there, just because it's easy to download 20, 30-minute videos. Going to Alaska this year, so going to do a big YouTube video. Bow hunting caribou up there, so that'll be that's going to kind of be like my first like big, like I guess you could call it YouTube kind of launch as far as a video goes. So that'll be a pretty cool deal. Yeah, that'll be cool. Instagram's obviously that's definitely where I'm most active, just because it's, as of right now, they let you do the most when it comes to hunting content. But I'm on all of them. I haven't started my OnlyFans yet, but hey, you never know. I mean, dude, these tags are getting expensive, man. I might have to fire one up. So.
I know. Fire one
up, man. I mean, I was thinking like foot pics, maybe like OF, but just.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah,
man. That's just what I'm thinking.
Well, that's where you start. That's the gateway. Yeah, a couple pictures of the feet, then you just work your way up.
Dude, gotta be some weirdos out there that want to look at my feet. Has to be.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. All right, well, guys, go follow Clint. You can go follow Martin. Again, check out that link to the Eventbrite. The Eventbrite link to that weekend there in June. And and did you say where it was at in Ohio?
Yep. So it's in Carrollton, Ohio. It's at Century Farm.
Carrollton. Okay.
Yep.
There you go. All right, guys, check it out. Any questions, you can even reach out to me. Like I said, I'll be there, and I'm stoked for it. Clint, thanks for hopping on. Thanks for being just a great resource in the industry, sharing everything that's worked for you and whatnot. So, yeah, I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can't thank you enough for having me on, man. It's been a blast. Been looking forward to this all week. So glad we got to do it, man. It's always fun to jump on with a good dude, a good like-minded dude like yourself, and love what you got going on here, and excited to see it grow. And hopefully next time we jump on one of these in about middle of October, we've killed some bucks, some bulls. We're chasing some bucks, some bulls. We're game planning for what's to come in November. That's the positive Pete coming out in me right now. You know what I mean? You gotta be thinking about that stuff.
There you go, man.
There it is.
Always positive. Love it.
Got it, man.
All right, man. Well, I'll catch you later. Everybody, thanks for listening. We will catch you on the next one. Thanks. Hey, if you like that episode, please share it with a friend, share it on your story, and give the podcast a rating and a review on wherever you listen. For more of this type of content, you can head over to the YouTube channel and Follow along on all the social platforms. Really appreciate it. See you on the mountain.